that doesn't require you to sell your car or a family member. The year is 2015 and Moog have just released the Mother-32, and for a lot of people this represents the first gateway into the Moog Owners Club that doesn't require you to sell your car or a family member. Feedback is good. People like that it's Eurorack compatible and it plays really nicely with other modules, but they also like that it's a great standalone unit and that it sounds like a Moog. So the question becomes, now what? What do you follow this thing up with? It needs to be as cool and as flexible and as great sounding as the Mother-32, but it also needs to be its own beastie. The year is now 2018, and Moog hit us with this thing. The drummer from another mother, the Defam. The Defam is a drum synth. You've got two VCOs, you've got a filter, you've got noise and a VCA at the end. You've got this 8-step sequencer for velocity and pitch down here, and you've got this 3.5mm patch bay over here for patching everything into each other, which comes with these handy little 3.5mm cables as well to get you started. The VCOs have a massive 10-octave range, which is simultaneously super versatile and kind of a bit fiddly to dial in at times. There is modulation here as well that allows you to modulate the second oscillator with the first oscillator for some fantastic FM juiciness. You can also hard sync the oscillators with this switch here, which allows you to effectively force phase align them, which leads to some really horrible gritty greatness, especially when the oscillators are doing quite kind of disparate things. You can get some really gnarly sounds. The sequencer down the bottom here can control pitch and velocity, allowing you to get some really cool, really unique patterns. But for example, if you're just looking to sample it and just get some one-shots out of it, there is a trigger button up here, and there is an advanced button down here that allows you to step manually through the different bits on the sequencer. The Defam actually comes with these really cool kind of patch sheets, which I guess would be kind of analog presets. So I thought we'd cycle through a few of those and you would watch me dial them in, because that will cover off both kind of the range of what the Defam can do as recommended by Moog themselves, and also let you see some knob twiddling. Okay, so I'm just going to pop the Tubular bells kind of patch sheet on there, and each of these little orange dots or lines and vice versa are going to tell us where to go. So let's run the sequencer. Bring the frequency up of oscillator 1 and right up of oscillator 2. Waves both triangle. Interestingly, VCO 1 and the noise are all the way down for this patch. VCF decay, cutoff, resonance. Oh, cool. I'll leave the volume all the way up just for now. You can hear affecting the pitch with the sequencer there as it steps its way through. Changing the velocity of each hit individually. Okay, I think we're all the way there, and then the last thing we need to do is this patch says we modulate pitch and VCO1 CD. And there's a Tubular bells patch. Next up, big bottom bass. So again, we'll just pop this on there. Noise level is still all the way down. VCO 1 is all the way up this time. Bring the FM down. Decay comes up a little bit. We're going to switch off the sequencer pitch element there, apparently. Don't need that. Bring the frequency down of the oscillators. Hard sync on, so remember that's force aligning those phases of the two oscillators there. Decay, cutoff is already in the right place. The VCF has two modes, there's a low pass and a high pass, so this patch reckons we need it on low pass, which is where it already was already, so that's okay. The VCA envelope is fast. On this one, we've got that one there, that one there, that one there. All of that is switched off, so I'm assuming that's what that's about. And then we bring the velocity to where it tells us it needs to be. Bring the tempo to where it says it needs to be. Okay. Got that kind of big bassy thing. It's really, really cool. You may have noticed that in the track earlier, things were a bit sparse. That's because clocking the DFAM, that is to sync it up with your DAW or with your other instruments in your studio, is really, really hard if you don't have pre-existing Eurorack gear or something to kind of output a clock that also is 3.5mm. Everything in my studio is 1/4 inch because I don't have Eurorack. So setting something up to clock the DFAM and to sync it with my DAW so I could put beats behind it and I could put stuff behind it in general was a real nightmare. It's a real bummer that there's no MIDI on the DFAM. I tried to use this in a session a couple of weeks ago with some friends of mine, and we ended up having to one-shot individually each thing, and it was really frustrating. The tempo knob is really sensitive. I'll just show you super quick. So this is where it's set according to the badge. That's so it's either so slow that it's, or it's so fast that there's so much play in that tempo knob that actually getting it where it needs to be is quite hard, especially when you're trying to sync it up to a DAW. I appreciate that it's designed to go in a Eurorack system, but for me, as somebody without a Eurorack system, just trying to use it as its own as a drum synth, that's pretty frustrating. I'm just going to pop this last patch on there, Electro Thump. This is actually one of my favorites, so we'll run that. Tempo is actually coincidentally already ready where it needs to be. Bring up the VCO decay. We need the sequencer pitch modulation on VCO 2 for this one, so we're going to do that like that. Bring up the gate, there we go. Switching the VCOs from triangle to square. That is actually something that would be nice as well. If you are running a sequence and you have the decay up quite high on the VCA, it can just kind of keep going forever on the step. I'll just bring it. So I press stop and it's still going. And I understand the need for that, but it would be really nice, especially I would assume for people playing live, if there was a kill button that you could just say, actually, shut up. That would be quite nice. But yeah, that's my favorite. That's my favorite one of the kind of Moog pre-existing patches. I just want to show you the trigger button as well, so I can trigger each step individually. That was a terrible example. Let's try this one. There you go. And as you can see, I'm just pressing the advance button, and it's flicking me through the different stages. Super cool. Right, pedal time. I think I have got the Third Man / Game Changer plasma coil out again. I know I did this before in my video on the pedal, but it's just such an amazing sound that I just can't really help myself. It's my favourite distortion pedal at the moment, sue me. I am going to have a bit more of a play with the Defam though, because obviously the video is about the Defam, so we have some more time to actually explore the synth, so that's going to be super fun. Let's have a look. the Defam is super, super popular, and I totally see why. And I didn't even have to sell my lungs to pay for it, which is always a big plus. I was looking for a drum synth that was a drum synth and was not a drum machine, that was kind of sample based and that would enable me to make my own sounds, and that also wasn't going to cost me an arm and a leg. And this is perfect for that. I'm really, really happy with the Defam. I do wish that there was a clock input on the back that was just a standard 1/4" jack, just so that people could run anything, just like a hi-hat sample from their DAW, or just a click from their DAW just to clock it. It would make it so much easier. Moog, if you make another one, please do that, because that would be awesome. Only being able to clock it with a 3.5mm jack. I mean, yes, you could just have an adapter or something, but that's a bit cumbersome for something as small as the Defam. It would be really cool to have a clock in on the back. That would really expand the use case for it, although I suppose that might impact its ability to be Eurorack mounted. So yeah, you know, peaks and valleys in it. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for sticking to the end. If you can see me, I assume you did. Thank you very, very much. Again, it's much, much appreciated. Please like, subscribe, share. This channel is teeny tiny, but it's growing really, really fast. Thank you so much for the response, by the way, to my video on the Polybox. That was huge. That was crazy. I was not ready for that. It freaked me out a bit. That was awesome. Thank you so much for all your lovely, really kind words. I really, really appreciate it. I hope you liked the video on the Defam. Please pop some thoughts on the Defam in the comments. Let's have a conversation about it. Did I demo it okay? This is my second video on a synthesizer ever, so hopefully I did all right. Like, subscribe, share. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the new year. I'll see you in January. Have a fantastic Christmas and New Year. I'll see you next year. Thank you.